told all the time to do their warm-ups before they get into the water. So before I do that, I am aware that not all of you actually know me very well or know what I do or what I'm doing here. So I'm Ads. I work mostly in the gym, so hence why you probably haven't seen too much of me on the pool deck so far. So I was a swimmer. I swam for Perth City as well. I did both pool swimming and open water swimming, and my favourite stroke was butterfly. I started training with Ryan when I was about 15, so there's baby Ads up there, and absolutely love the gym, and so now he cannot get rid of me anymore. I am still there. I've studied physio and sports science at uni, and now I'm kind of doing coaching in the gym and setting up a bit of a rehab program for you guys as well. Some other kind of fun facts about me. I have 3 very crazy whippets. You can see them over there, and they're going to hang out with us today because they're probably the most interesting part of this entire presentation. And I'm an older lady that likes to crochet as well. Alrighty, so what is a warm-up? Does anyone kind of have any ideas? Like, what is it? Yeah.
Warm your body up.
Yeah. Good word. It's very self-explanatory, isn't it? You're warming your body up, but like, why do you want to warm your body up? Like, what's the point of that?
Preparing yourself for something else, like preparing yourself for the demands of what you're about to do.
Yes.
So you're not cold.
To prevent injuries.
Wow.
To prevent injuries.
Prevent injuries. Yeah, and Luke kind of used my key words that I really wanted to do, which was prepare. So you want to prepare yourself to jump into the water and swim as well as you can without injuring yourself, ideally, is kind of what our job is, especially kind of in S&C and as coaches. So what does that kind of preparation look like, and why do we have to do it? So here's my dog contemplating, why do I have to get in the pool? Well, why do I have to go into the pool and do a warm-up that Owen writes me, and yet you guys are making me warm up on the pool deck anyway? And I'm sure that is something that you guys have either told Meg, or told Owen, or asked me, or just thought about when, we're yelling at you guys for not doing Supermans properly and just having a chat with your mates. So there's obviously a number of reasons why you would have to warm up on the pool as well as in the water. So do any of you guys get pretty tight through your upper back? Yeah? No, not you, Luke, of course not. Do you get tight shoulders?
Yes.
Tight hips? Stiff ankles? Are you like me and you have really, really bendy shoulders that just pop around all over the place and get really sore when you swim? Yeah? Yeah, exactly. How hard is it to open up your upper back when you're in the water? Do you reckon you can do that? Not really. Can you loosen up your really tight hip flexors when you're in the water? Not really. No, if I'm, poor Luke, I'm gonna kind of pick on you a little bit. Luke's pretty stiff and tight. Yeah, Luke's one of the older boys. He's tall and he's just stretched out this way, so he's pretty stiff and tight. So unfortunately, if Luke doesn't do a warm-up before he gets into the water, his arm only goes up to here. And we've tested this. In the gym, we've got really cool equipment that we can use, and we can have a look at how far you can actually get your arm over your head. If you're trying to swim freestyle and your arm only goes to here, do you reckon you're going to do as good as the person next to you who can actually catch all the way up above the head? Probably not. So why not jump on pool deck, loosen up your shoulders a little bit, then as soon as you get in the water, you've got a really long, efficient catch, and you're probably not going to stretch your shoulders out either. So there's just a couple of reasons why we tend to want you guys to do all of these things outside of the pool before you actually jump in and get ready to swim. So this is why, obviously. Warming up your body temp, as we have very clearly explained before, getting your blood flowing. So that is usually the first thing that you do as part of your warm-up. You'll find that your exercises are just kind of getting you moving, getting you ready to go. That's fun. Then what you'll do is you'll release your joints to get into a certain position. So say we're really stiff and tight, you're loosening up your back, loosening off your shoulders so you can get into the correct positions when you swim, so you don't get injured, and so that you can be faster than what you would have been originally. For my hypermobile guys, and all of you need it anyway, you're activating those stabilizing muscles. So rotator cuffs, core, glutes, really important. If those muscles aren't activated, warmed up, ready to go, and you try and jump into the water and you're not using them, now your shoulders kind of dropping forwards, hips are going to be all out of whack, and you're more likely to kind of hurt yourself and jump out and have to chat to me because you've got some sore shoulders. Oh my goodness. Please let's not have anyone else comment with sore backs. And then the last thing that you're going to do is then wake up your nervous system as well. So most of you guys train at what, like 5:30 in the morning? Yeah. How sleepy do you feel when you have to jump in the water? Not very sure.
We do the warm-up, we don't feel sleepy.
Exactly. If you do your warm-up and you're doing your jumps and your pogos, or you're playing a game, or you're doing some throwing, and you're hanging out with your mates and you're doing those things, having a bit of a giggle, by the time you jump in the water, you're ready to go and ready to swim fast. So that's me, awake at 5 a.m. is my workout over there, just relaxing. So I kind of put this one together to, I don't know, illustrate to you guys a little bit better what it looks like and why we tend to pester you so much about doing your warm-up. So in, I don't know, lane A over there, you've got your person that kind of, you got up 10 minutes earlier, you had your bag packed ready to go, and you're on pool deck 15 minutes before you had to start. They did their warm-up, they made sure that their shoulders were ready to get in the correct positions, they activated their muscles, did their jumps, and they were ready to go. So by the time they got in, they were doing all the correct things, they had a really efficient stroke, and they're already half a lap in front, essentially, of the person who maybe didn't get up to their first alarm. So that kind of just gives you an idea. Your warm-up is going to get you ready. It's going to prepare you to swim. If you're not prepared to swim, then all your other teammates are now half a lap in front of you. They're going to swim faster than you. They're going to beat you. Yeah? And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be training like 7 days a week to, like, I don't know, miss out on something so simple that's going to make me faster than the person next to me. Alright. So we, in the gym, create your warm-ups for you. So Ryan has sent you a lovely PDF of the certain exercises that we recommend that you do. And I do want to highlight that it is just a recommendation. For you guys that are still learning what exercises to do and what suits you, it's really easy for us to kind of give you just one warm-up for everyone to all do. And then if we need to adjust it, we can. So we don't just kind of throw it all together. There is, a little bit of thought that goes into it, and we do give you things in a certain order so that by the time you get in the water, you're ready to go. So this is the process that we go through and that you'll notice when you're like doing a warm-up. So first phase, if you want, is this grease that we call it, the grease phase. So that's just when you're moving. So what is the grease phase of your current warm-up? You've been doing it for so long now. What's the first exercise? Walkouts. Yeah. So it's the first exercise you're doing, you're moving your whole body. And there's not necessarily a huge chunk of your warm-up. It's one exercise that you're gonna do, just start getting you moving. All right, 2 is your release. So you're opening up your joints. And this is the part where you might need to kind of adjust your program around what you need. So for all of you guys at the moment, where is your release? What exercises are we doing for that? Yeah, go Kate. Yeah, your sumo twists. Awesome. So if I'm a swimmer and I cannot rotate through my back and I'm really stiff, am I going to be very good at freestyle? Nah, probably not. So we've got you in there doing a bit of rotation because we know that a lot of you guys are sitting at your desk, you're sitting at school all day and you get really stiff through your upper back. So we're releasing those joints up for you. Say a few of you guys at the moment are getting really tight and sore through your hip flexors. You can put some of your hip flexor release work into your warm-ups. So if you come to me and you go, hey, I'm getting really sore, tight hip flexors, I feel like I'm just not got an efficient kick at the moment, let's have a chat. Let's think of some exercises that we can do to help ready your hip flexors so that by the time you get into the pool and Owen's got you swimming, your legs are ready to go and you're feeling a little bit better when you swim. Alrighty, so then we prime, so this is when we're talking about your stabilization muscles. So this is usually like the biggest chunk of your warm-up, and we'll kind of go through that a little bit more. And then you've got your activate, so that's your jumps and your hops and all the parts that we really, really like to do as swimmers. Alrighty, beautiful. So there is Ryan doing his nice walkouts. So especially some of the guys that are in the gym, what are some other ways that you can just kind of move your body if you say walkouts don't work for you, or you kind of really want to be doing something else, or you want to build a warm-up that suits you? Okay,
Yeah, you're not going to say you go run here.
Run here.
Yeah. Definitely not insane.
Not insane.
No, probably not. I mean, last time you had your plank toe taps. That's always a really good one if you're really not liking your walkouts. Any kind of, Spider-Man twists, come and have a chat. If you need something else, if you feel like you're not ready and you're not moving enough at the start of your warm-up, what's another way that you can kind of move your body? Alrighty, we've got our release. So there's the little piece up there. Cool. So at the moment, your release is your sumo twists. There's not a huge amount of release work happening in your warm-ups at the moment, but there are a few other examples that we've popped up onto the board for you guys. So we've got 90-90s. So I know I have really tight hips. I make a terrible breaststroker. I cannot move my hips at all. So 90-90s are a really nice one to start to get your hips moving. If say you're a breaststroker and you're feeling, hey, this warm-up's not working for me, can I do something else to help benefit me when I actually jump in? Sideline windmills, that's one of my favorites because I get really stiff and tight as well. Alrighty, cool. So we kind of very briefly touched on your kind of priming or activating through your stabilization muscles. So has anyone got a shoulder injury, had a shoulder injury? Yeah, okay. A couple of us, and yeah, there we go. A lot of girls. A lot of us are really bendy. We've got hypermobile joints, and especially when we're in the water, as soon as these shoulders kind of start to pop forwards, that's when we stress, and through your rotator cuff, through your bursa, through a lot of these structures that are in your shoulder, and that's when you have to jump out and you're going, hey, my shoulder's really hurting. So the way that we kind of counteract that, we try and prevent it if we can, is working through your rotator cuff. So rotator cuff, does anyone actually know where it is? Hey, yes, man. Cool. Rotator cuff is like kind of this like mystery in the swimming for you guys, for swimmers. Don't know where it is, what it does, but it just gets mentioned a lot when we're swimming because everyone seems to get an injury. So your rotator cuff sits here. It sits on the back of the shoulder. Do we know what it does? It does help you move stuff.
Centralizes the joint.
Yeah, exactly. It centralizes the joint. So, cup, ball, this is your shoulder. What happens is you guys swim so much. You've got really strong pecs, really strong lats. You spend all of your time pulling on the water this way. So your joints naturally like to go whee and come forwards like this every single time you do freestyle, you do butterfly. So what happens is then you kind of get the shoulder coming forwards more often. What this rotator cuff does is it pulls it back there and you stop kind of squishing or moving around so much. So you're centralizing the socket, your joint back into the socket here and preventing your injuries. So that is why we've got you doing WTYIs. Your rotator cuff sits at the back, so we need to activate through your back and get that rotator cuff working before you jump into the pool and start doing all your freestyle work. What other exercises have you got in your program at the moment? Supermans? Yeah, why do we do them?
Spiral? What's the law of that?
Yeah. So this will come under your trunk. So a lot of us like to really focus on your core and your core work, which is obviously really important when you're swimming. But yeah, also lower back. When you're swimming, there needs to be a connection between your upper body and your lower body as well. So if you think about your Supermans, you're getting that upper body work happening through your shoulder blades because you're kind of pulling up and back this way. You're also having squeezy glutes. So what we're doing is we're getting our brain ready and connecting your upper body and your lower body. So that's why you got Superman's, hip ridge holds. Glutes. Yeah, gotta get your hips working. Alrighty. Activate. So that's my dog. She's very excited to go for a bit of a run. So this is where you're getting your nervous system up and ready to go. So really important, especially if you're jumping in kind of prior to a race. You know, you want your central nervous system to be up and firing, ready to go, so you can race as fast as you can. Yeah. How ready do you feel to swim really fast after you've sat here and listened to me talk for ages? Probably not. You're just sitting around, you know, you're probably yawning, getting a little bit tired. Yeah, you're not ready to go. So if you do this before you go and train, you're probably going to take 20, 30 minutes, if like not longer, to actually get ready to like swim fast. So your warm-up's just going to take forever. Alrighty. Cool, so we kind of covered a few areas of like why we warm up and how it's kind of benefiting you. I kind of wanted to use this slide to talk not just about what's going on in your body, because obviously, you know, all of us are pretty smart. We can kind of put two and two together as to why we warm up and why we warm up the areas that we need to in terms of injuries and just getting yourselves ready to swim. But what I found was really important was I kind of sat exactly where you were, and I had a coach telling me why I needed to do my warm-ups when I was swimming. And unfortunately, they were 100% correct. So I did get a shoulder injury, and I did need to do my rehab exercises in my warm-up. But I also traveled a lot, and I had to go away to race and compete. Oh goodness. And I hate racing. I get really anxious, I get really nervous, and then I do not race well at all. And what's really helpful is if you go to a new pool that you've never been to before, you don't have all of your mates around you to kind of help settle your anxiety. One of the best things you can do is kind of rock up to pool deck and know exactly what your routine is. So your warm-up isn't just about your body, it's also kind of about your head and your mind and just your mental state as you go into a race or as you go into your training sessions. So if I was to rock up to a pool, they had barely a warm-up pool. You got maybe 2 lanes to warm up, and there was all the big boys in there, and you were probably going to get beaten up a little bit by the time you got to the end of the pool. So swimming warm-up wasn't really an option. So we had to rely a lot on our land warm-up, to get ready and actually be able to swim fast when we jumped into the water. But then also to kind of deal with the anxiety of, I can't do my normal swim warm-up before I race, and I need to somehow perform under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. So do you guys currently feel like you have a routine that you do every single time you swim or every single competition that you know kind of gets you in the zone to swim and to perform?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you feel like it works for you? Yeah? Does anyone feel like it doesn't work for them? Yeah? Yeah? That's fine. That's cool. Awesome. Probably the older you get and the more experience you have, the more likely you're kind of going to find this does work for me, this doesn't. And that's totally okay. So, probably some of you are still like, this was kind of pointless, this told me all the things I already know about a warm-up. And you're probably going, I still really don't want to warm up on the side of the pool and spend that extra 15 minutes on pool deck when I could be still sleeping. So, can you think of a single footy player that does not warm up before they go and play a game? No. Can you like think of a single triathlete that would do a competition without doing their mobility and doing all their land-based work?
Quite a few would.
Yeah?
But there's a lot more going on in the triathlon than what, and quite often you don't have the time.
Right, and there you go. And how do you feel like that kind of affects you, like you and your performance? Is something that you tend to do, or?
I, in the marshalling area, have a few things that I do.
Yeah.
But that's more just to settle my mind.
There you go. And like Luke is a great person to talk to. Like, I guess like your experience is going to be way more recent and fitting. Like, what are some of the things that like you do that kind of gets you ready to race?
A couple of weeks back, we had someone come talk to us about like the pre-race routine.
Yep.
And how he had it down, everything he did, he had down to like an hour, 5 minutes, etc. I basically had to do that because you have, the day before, with all of the different warm-ups, when transition opens, when you have to go and do stuff, you have to have it organised and down to the wire. And I always found that going through that step by step kept my mind off the race all the way up until the warm-up area, like the cage area where they send you out.
Damn.
And at that point, that's when the nerves start kicking in, and then you start bouncing, you start doing stretches, you start rolling your arms around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's when the nerves kick in.
Exactly. And
Which you do need.
Yeah, and it's
Very
interesting
important.
how like Luke goes, that's when the nerves kick in, and that's when I need to move, that's when I need to bounce, that's when I need to actually have a routine and do the things that I know are going to kind of settle my nerves in a way that's still going to be productive and get me ready to go out and race, which I think is really cool. Maybe that's just me. Alrighty. So, like, do you guys have any questions at all? Like, is there something that you want to know or that you're not sure about?
You did good.
How?
When you crack your knuckles, is it bad?
That's really interesting. Do you know what makes the cracking sound when you like actually crack your joints? Yeah, it's air. So like your joints have air in them, and the air is like got a different pressure. So like inside of your joints versus surrounding pressure is going to be slightly different. So what happens is when you crack a joint, the pressure is just changing, and that's what makes that like kind of cracking sound.
So it doesn't give you arthritis.
Look,
It may give you arthritis.
correlation versus causation, we can't prove that it does actually cause arthritis. Very interesting question though. Oh my goodness. Okay, so kind of homework, kind of also what I wanted to like chat about here was, what are some things that you feel like are stopping you from doing a good warm up at the moment? Like, because if we felt like this was like an important presentation to give you, there must be a few barriers kind of in place that are kind of preventing you guys from doing the warm up at all or doing it well. So tell me, like, yeah, what is it? Is it that, you know, you're struggling to get here on time, especially kind of straight after school? Are you struggling to get here? Is your warm up that we've given you too long for the maybe 5 minutes that you have to get ready and get in the pool? Do we need to kind of adjust it for you because you can't get here after school? What about in the mornings? Are you able to get here 15 minutes earlier to do your warm up? Probably. Yeah, so do you need, you know, a shorter one in the afternoon so you can jump straight in and get going, and then have your longer one in the morning? You know, is there one exercise that you just feel like is not working for you? Do you have shoulder pain when you do something? Do you just absolutely not like it? There are some exercises in the gym where I just really don't enjoy doing them, and something else is going to get me ready a lot better than maybe the exercise that I've been given. And that's okay. Come and have a chat. You know, a lot of us kind of want to chat to our mates and, you know, talk for a little bit. Do you come in, chat for 5 minutes, and then put your headphones in and do your warm up? Do you have one person in your group that goes, all right, let's do this warm up and let's do it together? And you kind of all hold yourself accountable. You know, make it a bit of a team effort. And then what's one area that you really kind of want to improve on? You know, if you're jumping in, you're going, hey, I just feel like my dives are really not explosive. I want to get more explosive off my dives. What's one area that you want to work on? Do you get really tight through your shoulders and you're getting shoulder pain and you want to swim for this season and really work on that shoulder pain that you've been getting? Just think of, you know, one thing that's stopping you from doing a warm up and one thing that you kind of want to include and add and is going to make your warm up more valuable to you. Yeah, cool. Any questions about that? No? Any like comments or like just experiences or anything else that you feel like someone else might like learn from you? Yeah.
What you were saying about like how much better it feels going into a new pool with a warm up, that's like I second that so much, because even just walking in to like local meet, the anxiety of like, what do I do right now? Whereas when you have like your routine, your warm up, you can just put your bag down, go outside and do it. And like especially at nationals, like going in, having no teammates, being by yourself, like just being able to like sit down and have your routine and kind of like look around and like climatize to what's going on while like actually being productive, not just sitting there in awe.
Yes.
It's like really, really useful.
Yeah, yeah. And how many of you guys like have yet to kind of travel with your swimming? Yeah, a couple. Do you guys still get pretty anxious before you have to race? Yeah, is that kind of one national time that you're really going for that you get a bit anxious before you go and do that race? Do warm up first. Do that one thing that you do every single time before you jump in and swim. Do that and see how you feel. Alrighty. Cool. Awesome. Alrighty. That was
That was
nice and
perfectly
speedy.
timed.